So for our intermediate ankle routine, we'll be starting with ankle circles. And this is a variation on a calf raise, but you are trying to move your heels essentially around in a circular motion while doing the calf raise. And this means that you're getting some extra supination and eversion on the way out like that, and then extra inversion and pronation on the way in. So going up onto your toes, push through your big toes, then out onto your little toes and down. And then you can also reverse that direction. So coming onto the outside of your foot first and then into the inside. So this can take a bit of practice to get used to with the coordination. You may find that doing this on a harder surface is better to start with. And you also may find you need to use a wall or something for balance at first, but you can build up to being able to do it without holding on to anything for balance. So working for 1 minute and then moving on to some weighted half kneel rocks. So it's the same concept as the half kneel rocks we did in the beginner routine, just this time we're adding weight. You can see I'm using a kettlebell here, but you can use pretty much anything that you've got handy, something like a dumbbell or even just a big bottle of water, or just something to add a little bit of extra load. And you can obviously increase that load over time as well as you adapt. But as you can see, the movement is pretty much the same, just rocking forward onto one leg and pushing that leg right into flexion and dorsiflexion of the ankle, and then rocking all the way back into full flexion and plantar flexion on the opposite side. So 1 minute on one side and then swapping around to the other side. Put the weight on the side that you're leaning forwards onto. So as you can see, I'm leaning forwards onto my left and then holding the weight in my left hand. As always, just take it nice and slow and move within the range of motion that you're comfortable with. You can slowly increase that range over time, and holding the weight can also help you get lower into certain positions. And so once you've done your minute on the other side, then we'll change up to wall lean single leg calf raises. So same concept here as in the beginner routine. This time we're just doing it on one leg. So you can hook your other leg behind your knee like so, and then just push up into full plantar flexion and slowly lower down into dorsiflexion. Same principle applies here as well. The closer you are to the wall, the easier this will be. So you might want to start even closer than this. And the further away you are, the harder this will be. So over time you can build up to a position that is further and further away. So with this one, you're going to want a little bit more rest because it can be quite challenging on the calf and feet. So we've broken it up into 2 blocks of 30 seconds per leg. So we've just done our first block of 30 seconds on both legs. So change it up again. Your left leg or whichever leg you started with should be well rested enough to do another 30 seconds. If you're finding that you're struggling to do 30 seconds of good controlled repetitions in a row, then you'll need to stand closer to the wall to make this one easier. So just find a position where you're able to work for 30 seconds in a row. So once you've done your 2 sets of 30 seconds on both legs, we can move on to the Tibialis Raise. So this is leaning against a wall and lifting up your toes as far as you can and slowly lowering back down onto the ground. So this is working your tibialis anterior muscle, which is the muscle at the front of your shin. And again, the same principle applies. The further you are away from the wall, the harder it is. The closer you are to the wall, the easier it is. So find a position where you can work for 1 minute straight, and it's slow, controlled reps. You may find that this exercise is uncomfortable because these muscles are actually rarely worked like this, but if you can push through that, it's a really great way to improve strength and control and mobility at the ankle.